We'll also hit the streets of the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, where NDC women have been protesting. We'll also hear from the police that says they will not countenance unlawful demonstrations. We'll hear from them also in this bulletin. The cost of electoral violence. We'll tell you the story of a family of 7 in the Ododo-Diodio constituency that has lost its breadwinner in the just-ended polls.
He tells me
that they are very much affected by his death because he is the one who takes care of the family.
And in sports,
we'll bring you updates of Ghana's 2014 Youth Olympics gold winner, Martha Bisa, who believes there's more to come from her on the track.
And much later, the Ghana Journalists Association files complaints of post-election cyber abuse, bullying and threats targeting journalists to the police. Details as GJA President urges media practitioners not to take such threats lightly. That and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. And we start off from the election headquarters in association with Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity. Cowbell Coffee, taste it, love it. McDan Shipping and Logistics Limited, your total logistics partner. Padeva Limited, your home of modern furniture. DDP Outdoor Limited, 7 great brands. Festiva, adding flavors to your life. For 3-year lotteries, star 787 hash. Ghana's premier and biggest jackpot lottery. And Hyper Plus mixture for your general well-being. And this afternoon, former President John Mahama has assured he will concede and accept the outcome of the 2020 presidential elections if the Electoral Commission conducts independent audit of the results. The NDC presidential candidate, as you know, has rejected the results of the December 7 presidential elections, describing it as a flawed and fictitious polls. The party claims pink sheets in its possession show it won the polls. Speaking in an interview with Voice of America VOA, Mr. Mahama justified the NDC stand, saying the matter cannot be swept under the carpet.
We are currently doing a forensic audit of all the constituencies. First, to establish what happened there, and then secondly, to reconfirm the figures that we have. Because this case might end up in court, I don't know. I cannot mention anything for now, but we're doing an audit, and based on that, we'll take whatever decision we need to take. But I think that in the interest of the more than 6 million people who voted for me, I must uphold our democracy and hold our Electoral Commission to higher standards and hold this government to a higher standard in terms of our democracy. I mean, the way they've conducted this election, the government, President Akufo-Addo, and the Electoral Commission, is a dent to our democratic credentials as a government. And so, in my principles as a Democrat, I can't be seen to be sweeping it under the carpet and just letting it go. I think that we must bring closure to this by seeing exactly, where the issues are. And I mean, if an independent audit is done by the EC, we bring somebody in to crunch the numbers, do an independent audit. If I lost, why not? I mean, I'll be the first to concede and, walk away. But as long as that is not done, and I know that there was a deliberate attempt to subvert the will of the people in favor of the incumbent, it will be wrong for me in terms of our democratic practices to just leave it, because we will not learn the lessons of this election. I think that we must learn the lessons of this election so that we don't repeat it in a future one.
Former President John Mahama speaking in an interview with Voice of America, that's the VOA. Meanwhile, Mr. Mahama is suspected to be in the Bono East regional capital, Techiman, according to a statement released by the NDC in the Bono East region. And my colleague Kweku Asante joins me in studio with a copy of the statement. Kweku, what is the former president going to do in Techiman?
Well, so on Wednesday, 16 December 2020, upon his arrival, he will pay a courtesy call on the Techiman Traditional Council and then have a solidarity visit to the family of those who have lost their lives in the battle to see NDC win power and those who were injured in the same cause. Again, the former president will be felt at the EC regional and constituency office in the Techiman South, constituency to interact with the leadership of the party, supporters, sympathizers, and faithfuls of the party within the region.
Okay. But away from this, we understand that a coalition of civil society organizations made up of about 10 or so of these CSOs have released a statement regarding the 2020 outcome or election outcome. What are these CSOs saying?
Well, so these CSOs, 16 actually of them, made up of the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Imani Ghana, and others. They are saying that they urge that any disagreements with the outcome of the elections as declared and gazetted should be resolved using the laid down procedures outlined by law and providing the relevant supporting documentation. They also condemn all acts of violence and recommend that the security services immediately launch investigations into all reported crimes during the electoral process, and in particular prosecute perpetrators involved in the recorded pockets of violence which have led to various injuries and deaths. They are also reminding the two leaders of the major political parties to respect and fulfill the pledges they signed in the Presidential Election Peace Pact, which includes not just a commitment to promoting peaceful elections, but also a pledge to resort to judicial resolutions to address all election disputes. So this is what the 16 CSOs are saying.
And some of them include ASAP and some others.
Imani,
I'm sure you can
Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition,
Okay.
Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Imani Ghana, Pempla's Bite, Africa Center for Energy Policy, Ghana Integrity Initiative, Media Foundation for West Africa, and the rest.
Thank you very much, Kwekwa Sante there. And we go back to the camp of the NDC here on your election headquarters, which is vowing to adopt all legal means to overturn the results of Techiman South parliamentary election. According to the Electoral Commission, the NPP's Martin Ejime Nsakosa is the MP-elect for the constituency, but the NDC alleges that no collation took place in the constituency to warrant a declaration of results. Here is Director of Elections for the NDC in the constituency, Abdul Hamid bin Laden.
Not allow for collation at all, and then went ahead to prop up two strong figures, claiming that Martin Ejime Nsakosa of the NPP was leading. However, we knew per our independent coalition that we were leading by 50,569 as against 49,874 of Martin Ejime Nsakosa. So basically, what the NDC is contesting is that there should have been collation before we can talk about declaration. The Electoral Commission violated Regulation 43 of CI 127. Yes, the NDC legal team and the NDC executives are sitting down nationally, regionally, and at the constituency level. We will take every means possible, legally and even physically. We are going to contest it, and we are going to fight it until there is nothing to fight.
That's the NDC's Director of Elections for the Techiman South constituency, Abdul Hamid bin Laden. What you hear there are sounds of scores of NDC supporters in Seshirioso in the Western North region. They are protesting and calling for the retrieval of a missing ballot box. According to a former Western Regional Minister, Paul Evans-Edu, who is leading the protest, the EC could not have declared the results of the constituency without ascertaining the content of that particular ballot box. The NDC contends that should the ballot box be found and votes counted, the NDC will win the parliamentary election in the Seshirioso constituency. Here's Paul Evans-Edu.
It's a protest march towards the Electoral Commission. During the voting period, there was a particular ballot box which got missing. It's a parliamentary ballot box which contained voted or printed ballot papers and many other items. Unfortunately for our party, the box got missing at the Electoral Commission. But the Electoral Commission was aware, the police and the military, everybody was aware. There was no way that we could say that the box will get missing without any authorization. It tells that it was an intentional act that the Electoral Commission did with the police and the military. So we are saying that not until that box has been found, nobody will see peace here. Because we cannot just go and declare results for someone without even collection.
Now, some supporters of the NDC who also participated in the protest have been speaking to Joy News.
The parliamentary election, NDC we've won the election. But here is the case. From Asarisu to Sefiyosu here, no, it's not a small place. But the missing ballot box from Asarisu up to EC office, police officers are there, military officers are there. So how come the ballot box is missing? So we need a missing ballot box, or there will be no peace at Sefiyosu.
We're going to do it till. I hope you get me. They know what we want, and then we're going to seek for that. We are going to seek for it, and then they know what, if they give to us, we're going to get down coolly and then settle matters. They should give us our victory. That's all we just give them for. That's it. The missing ballot is going to be found today. I don't know whether it's handled, what we know is with the EC. We gave it to an EC official and then a police officer, an armed police officer. So how come it can't be found? We need.
Some NDC supporters who participated in the protest in Sefiyosu in the Western North region. I'll take you to the Ashanti region shortly, but first, let's go back to Techiman South. And we've been talking about the NDC. They're vowing to adopt all legal means to overturn the results of that parliamentary election there. Let's go over the phone lines and speak to Baba Jamal. He's part of the team that led efforts aimed at overturning the EC declaration for that constituency. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News. So, NDC officials, including yourself, have been to the constituency. What exactly did you gather?
Yes, thank you very much. What we gathered is that there was no coalition at the coalition center, properly so called. Because when you go and have one or two stations mentioned, and in the midst of confusion and people being killed, you claim you have declared the result, that definitely cannot pass the test of coalition in accordance with law. So we have found out that there was no coalition, and that is why we visited the Electoral Commission's office and met with the RO, which is the returning officer for Techiman South. We asked for a copy because he claimed he had declared. We asked for a copy of the summary sheet and the declaration form, upon which he declared the result. He said he didn't have it. And that, of course, is even an infraction on the law, because for you as the returning officer to say that, because by law, when you declare results, every participant of the election is entitled to a copy of the form.
But since then, I know that this trip was taking over the weekend or so. Since your interaction with the returning officer, have you taken this matter up to the regional level or the national level? Where
we
are we
have gone
exactly?
to the regional level. We went to the regional level. The regional officer that he cannot give us a copy at the regional level because it is the returning officer's duty to give us those copies.
Okay.
So for now, the region. The returning officer is saying he has sent everything to the region. So as at now, we don't even know. There is no evidence of upon which the Electoral Commission declared that results.
Well,
but we have all our pinches right. We know we have won that election with close to 1,000 votes. We know we have won that election. So, the legal election director said, we're going to use every legal means to ensure that the will of the people reflects.
Well, we're grateful for your time, and we're looking forward also to the visit of the former President John Dramani Mahama to the area. We'll follow that, and as and when we get more on this, we'll bring it to you. But let's head to the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, now. Well, the female members of the opposition party marched from the party office at Amokum through some principal streets and headed towards the regional EC office, saying they will risk everything to see their flag bearer declared president-elect. According to them, the general election was rigged in favor of the NPP. They say no intimidation from security services will make them rescind their decision. Love FM's Nanaya Ojima has been monitoring that protest. He joins us on the line with more. So, Nanaya, this protest, we understand, was organized by the women's wing of the NDC. What more have they been saying? Did we lose Nanaya Ojima on the phone? Nanaya Ojima, if you can hear me, we'll try again. I'm asking what more they've been saying, the women's wing of the NDC. Well, it doesn't look like we have Nanaya Ojima, but some of them have been speaking to us. We can listen.
We all believe and we know that Jane Mensah rig the election in favor of the incumbent. After all, she came out to make the declaration. She came out against to say she made mistakes. The mistakes that she made, where did she cook the new numbers from? Where did she cook those numbers from? The additions and subtractions. So we are saying that she should come out and do the right thing, because we know that if she does the right thing, she will not be sitting anywhere to declare President Nana Addo as president-elect. We are saying also that the president should stop intimidating the people of Ghana. He should stop using the army against us. The army is supposed to defend the citizens against external forces. But today, the army, they've turned their guns, their bullets on us. So we're asking him to stop intimidating us and stop shedding blood because he wants to be president. We are out here to demand justice. We cannot talk about justice without peace. We cannot talk about peace without justice. So we are here demanding for justice so that peace can prevail.
That's the women's organizer of the Hannah Bisu. And in a related development, the administration says it will not countenance unlawful demonstrations. The police says he has noted with concern recent disregard for laws governing public assembly in the country, resulting in damage to state and private property. In a statement, Director of Public Affairs Superintendent Sheila Beye-Bachman said persons who desire to hold elections or protests must necessarily give notice to the police in a period not less than 5 days.
So we are calling on organizers and participants of demonstrations and such special events to give due regard to the Public Order Act, which requires that they give notice to police at least 5 days before holding the event. And we want to remind them that failure to do so amounts to an offense which can lead to various penalties, including imprisonment. Also, if any crimes are committed in the course of such unlawful demonstrations, all participants are jointly responsible for the crimes. But as we remind them, we also want to assure the public that measures have been put in place to contain such unlawful demonstrations. We have had to close some roads and do diversions and impress on some facilities to close for the safety of human lives and properties. We regret such actions, but we ask the public to bear with us.
That's the Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Sheila Beye-Bachman. Now, whilst the December 7 general elections was largely peaceful, it's also represent the darkest moment for some families this year. In all, 5 people lost their lives in the course of the polls in the Ododo-Diodio constituency here in Accra, one of the traditional electoral hotspots. 2 people lost their lives during the polls. Joy News' Ernest Menu, who covered the Ododo-Diodio constituency, went back there and now brings us the story of a family of 7 who have lost their breadwinner.
Ododo constituency with over 58 hotspots and violent clashes ahead of the 2020 polls. It was the expectation of security analysts that security will be beefed up to avert or control violence. Unfortunately, 2 people died before the final declaration of results.
So we're here at Abola, a community in the Ododo-Diodio constituency. A young man, 36 years old, Emmanuel Dompre, lost his life. From what we understand, he was an agent for the opposition NDC.
I'm George Sampa.
Okay, and you were with him when the incident happened?
Right, I'm with him right there.
Okay.
We were there as soon as the polls ended. So the MPP were jubilating. They said they found the parliamentary seat. We were all there at the hotel when the Senate, so they started jubilating and started doing their jama. Modek Hotel at Koloko. So we were there on the MPP jama. They come along with bottles, plastic, stones. So we were there with the Emmanuel Dompre, our brother, who was just demise. So we run away, but we don't know where our brother passed before he met his untimely death.
What kind of person was he?
Oh, he was a cool guy, soft boy.
And what was he doing for a living?
Oh, he worked at post service.
I meet two of his brothers. Atakwa tells me how he received the news.
And he's telling me that he's the eldest of them. There are 7 brothers. And he heard the news when he went to Choco. He received a phone call and was told that the brother had been shot.
The brothers tell me the family is deeply affected by the death of Emmanuel Dompre. They will miss him.
He tells me that they are very much affected by his death because he is the breadwinner for the family, and so he is the one who takes care of the family.
Emmanuel left behind a wife and a daughter who is only 2 years. Ernest Menu's report for Joy News.
Meanwhile, security analyst Colonel Festus Abuaji says the police must take responsibility for some of the deaths resulting from electoral violence. He's challenging the police crowd control measures, particularly in the Techiman South area where 2 people died. He spoke on PM Express on the Joy News channel.
We've lost 6 lives. The police itself, election security management, also have part of the blame to take. The methods that they used, the way and manner in which they tried to control that scene at Techiman South is contrary to all principles of democratic policing. And I want any professional police officer to tell me that the way to control the crowd was to fire sporadically, fire into the ground, and if somebody was trying to snatch a loud hailer, megaphone, that we should end up with 2 dead and 1 dying subsequently in a hospital.
That's unfair.
You see, so the IGP, as he has said, must investigate. But after the investigation, good or bad, the report must be taken to court. Because that's the principle of democratic policing, that you must go to court and justify why it was necessary for you to use force.
Security analyst Colonel Festus Abuaji there speaking on PM Express last night. This is the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories: former President Mahama assures you concede and accept outcome of 2020 presidential polls if the Electoral Commission conducts an independent audit of results. We heard him speak to the VOA. When we return from the break, we have sports, and also the Ghana Journalists Association files complaints of post-election cyber abuse, bullying and threats targeting journalists to police. Details as the GJA president urges media practitioners not to take such threats lightly.
We are in touch with the political agencies. We lodge a formal complaint to them and make them aware they are following. These threats should not be taken lightly.
Let's bring your dear. We're going to make every moment special. Whether it's
I see you, Kipo.
There's more than enough drama series to bond over. There is something to keep you.
What are we doing today, man?
Endlessly entertained. You won't miss the action between.
Nobody will be better. Ronaldo or Messi.
You know, go fit rescue you from Auntie's questions. So
you said when you marry now.
That will give you ideas. Choose DSTV this holiday season and make it your moment for only 45 Ghana cedis per month. DSTV, it's your moment.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aplao. In the Eastern region, we're on K-Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sunmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrot FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Thanks for staying with the best. Let's do sports now with Baba Tando.
Ghana's only medalist at the 2014 Youth Summer Olympics held in China, Martha Bisa, indicates despite plans to pursue a second degree after graduating from the Norfolk State University in Virginia with a Bachelor of Science degree in business, Ghanaians should expect her back soon as she strives to do more exploits on the track. Martha, during her time at Norfolk, was named the Female Athlete of the Year for 2 consecutive years in 2018 and 2019, and also set a new championship record in the U.S. Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, MEAC, women's cross-country with a time of 17 minutes and 16 seconds.
People still believe in me, and I like that because they see the future in me. They still don't doubt about that. And all I have to tell them is the good is yet about to come. It's not a one-day journey. For now, I'm done with my first degree. I'll have my second degree on marketing this coming spring. So I'm not going to put down my education right now, but I will put it down a little bit and focus fully on a track. So that's what I have to prove to my people and my fans that I'm still there. I'm still Matabisa that I used to know. She will still come back.
Log on to myjoyonline.com/sports for more updates in the world of sport. You are up to date. I am Baba Tando from London.
Thank you very much, Baba. Of course, Martha Bisa inspires always. Now, the Ghana Journalists Association says he has filed a police complaint of cyber abuse, bullying and threats against journalists. In an interview with Joy News, President of the GJA, Roland Afilmoni, urged media practitioners not to take such threats lightly. Some media personnel who played key roles in the election 2020 coverage for their media houses have come under online attack and threats by supporters of losing parties who are under the false impression the media published falsified results which benefited their opponents. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
A Facebook account bearing the name Anwar Sadat posted this message.
A president and some journalists to die before the end of the month.
That is just one of the many threats, mainly from supporters of political parties that did not win the election. Journalists who played key roles in the election coverage for their various media houses are their main targets. Head of Joy News political desk, Evans Mensah, who led the coverage, and other journalists with other media houses have all been threatened, in some instances unprintable words hurled at them. President of the Ghana Journalists Association, Roland Afilmoni, says the GJA is aware of the situation and has reported same to the police.
We are in touch with security agencies. We lodge a formal complaint to them and they are aware, they are following. These threats should not be taken lightly. Yes, we directed such threats to the appropriate quarters, and I believe the appropriate quarters not treat such threats lightly. We don't want to break up thresholds, but it's happened in the case of Ahmed Swale.
The Multimedia Group Limited has also taken steps to officially report the threats to police. On the probe with Emefa Apawu, head of the political desk, explained how the Joy News team collated the results for an accurate projection.
The recruits that we got, God bless their souls, we worked them hard, but they performed. And that's the only reason why we were able to put the figures we put together accurately in a timely fashion, and we projected bullseye, as the Electoral Commission itself later called Emefa.
Well, Winston, your deputy, is also with us. Did you plan such that at any point in time you will get figures from elsewhere apart from what we are going to get on the ground?
You do know, you're aware of the system that have been put in place, that, we have in our situation room, we have 16 computers and we have 16 persons, getting results from all the regions. Our correspondents had to ensure that they stay at the collation center until the Electoral Commission declares the results. Our job was just to report the results as the Electoral Commission had declared. So in our situation room, those who are checking the results, what they do is that once the results are declared, now it gets in there, it's handed over to the team that actually feeds the software in the strong room. And the strong room are actually collating the results. After everything, they were the ones who would do all the additions and determine whether it has become statistically impossible for one candidate to catch the other, and thus inform us that we can go ahead and project.
That's Deputy Head of our political desk, Winston Amwa, ending Maxwell Agbagba's report.
And it's the Joy Christmas Hour. Some giveaways, some carols, just to warm you up for Christmas.
And your Superstation Joy 99.7 FM has lined up activities to lighten up your Christmas season with a Joy Christmas Hour. From 1:15 to 2 p.m. each weekday, families can call into the station when the buzzer goes off at random times. All you have to do is answer a question and you could be the winner of many of the amazing gifts for Christmas. You can win home appliances, mobile phones, shopping vouchers, weekend giveaways, dinner vouchers, and many, many more. Here's the first caller for the Joy Christmas Hour yesterday, speaking to host Doring Ando.
Who's calling, please? So tell us, what's the good news? You have a brand new baby at home?
Yeah,
It's actually my sister.
So you have a brand new niece or nephew?
I have a nephew.
Oh, lucky you. Well. Proud uncle. So you definitely want something for your sister and her lovely baby. And so we would like for you to just leave your information with our friends on the phone line right now.
And it's as simple as that. All you have to do is to stay tuned to Joy 99.7 FM so you don't miss the buzzer when it sounds. It's on from now till the 26th of December. And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Pastor Men's Bill comes up next. Do stay.